2 years ago, I was sitting at my kitchen table, burnt out from a job that drained me, went through workplace harassment, experienced friendship betrayal, and packed up my life in a city that I thought I would live in forever.
And then I'm starting to see it's all good.
I was 32. Everything that I thought I knew, I didn't know. And starting over for me wasn't just scary, it was humiliating. But what I didn't know back then was that starting over was not only a powerful, but it was the most beautiful thing that I could ever do for myself. If you feel stuck, left behind, and feeling like your life is not panning out the way you thought that it would, you are not alone. And better yet, it's not too late for you. Welcome back to 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐠𝐞. Today's video, we're talking about something that I don't see a lot of people talking about, which is how to navigate starting over when you are in your 30s. Maybe it's a career that you no longer feel fulfilled in, you lost your friend group, or maybe the ending of a relationship that you thought that you would be in for the rest of your life. I have definitely been there, and I'm going to show you guys 5 strategies that help me to stop spiraling, to get outside of my head, get more to my body, and begin creating and living the life that I always wanted to live, and also how to handle setback if it does pop up in my life. So if you are feeling lost, I promise you this is a safe space. We're going to be honest, we're going to be vulnerable. So the very first thing is to not beat yourself up where you are currently. Yes, you may not be in the career that you thought you always have, or the relationship, or the friendship, or you don't feel fulfilled in where you are in life. Maybe you're not married by now, or you don't have the children that you want by now, but you just have to take a break. And once you do that, there will be a huge weight off your shoulders. The truth is that everyone's timeline is different. You currently are just a timeline where you are ready for new beginnings. Except that the phase that you are is a phase to create something, a phase to go out and make your life the way how you want it to be. Look at it as a blessing, because you are not going autopilot in your way through life and you find out maybe 10-15 years later this is a lifestyle, or the person that you with is not who you want to be with, they're not who you thought that they were, or you feel like you're not actually fulfilled in the company that you was working at, or the type of work that you're doing doesn't make you happy. So look at it as you are blessed to have this moment to change your life before you are so far down the line. Another thing is to let go of the version that you thought that you were going to live. You cannot change the past, but you can change the story that you tell about it. That means letting go of the idea that you're broken and that something is wrong with you. When I finally accepted that I wasn't where I wanted to be, I felt more free. I was able to let go of the version of myself that I thought that I was going to be living. The idea that when I was in my early 20s that I thought by now that I would be married to the partner or have kids by now. But I was able to let go of that version of myself and to realize that this is my life story. It's not how everyone else's life is supposed to be. When you're in your 30s, you think that you're supposed to have life all figured out. Once I began to accept the reality that I was living in, I started to feel more confident in myself, because I had this huge shame on my back. I let go of the shame. I stopped hiding. I stopped living my life in guilt. And I was able to open up my mind, and my mindset shifted. I became more of a student to life. One thing that I did was I told myself I forgive myself for not knowing the things that I didn't know back then, not making decisions that I wish that I did back then. But so what I can do now for myself is to have more compassion on myself and trust myself and allow myself time and space to think through things. So once you release the shame, you're able to grow. Then you'll be ready to build the new life that you've always wanted. The second tip is to get clear on what you truly want. When you're starting over, or if you feel stuck, it's not good to just instantly start a new job, applying for jobs immediately, or try to enter a relationship, or try to be friends with someone immediately. You have to gain clarity. Figure out, why did this certain thing happen? Why did the certain type of friendship that I choose led me to a certain type of situation? Or why did the relationship end? Because most of the times our realities is a reflection within us. So before you go out and you take actions, go within so that you can have clarity about the next action to take. Because if you don't do that, you'll be landing in the same place again and again and again, finding yourself having to consistently start over. So start asking yourself, what do I want my days to look like? What do I want to do for work that fulfills me? What's the type of partner that I want to have? And How do I want to feel? How do I want others to feel when they're around me? How do I want to feel when I'm around other people? How does my work fulfill me? What type of work fulfills me? What do I want my day-to-day look like? One thing that I look back on my past I didn't like was that I didn't have enough freedom. I didn't have enough time in my day to love my life whatsoever. My role, I had a double role. I was a product manager and a product designer. So one thing I did know for myself is that I want to work for myself. Instead of me climbing a corporate ladder, I want to figure out what can I do to build myself up instead of building someone else's dream up. So I began to get interested in freelance UX work, and then I became interested in creating products. I became interested in creating YouTube content. I've always had ambitions of being a creative person, but I just didn't have the freedom attached to that because I didn't think that I could seriously pursue these goals. So one good place to start to figure out what it is that you truly want to do, that your heart desire, is to begin journaling. Create a journal prompt saying, if I could create any kind of life in the next 12 months, what does it look like? Don't hold any judgments about what you want to do. Don't have any ceilings or limits to what you want to achieve. Just allow yourself to explore what it is that your heart desires, because there's no dream that's too impossible, and begin to reverse engineer your way through there. Third tip is to create a mini plan. You don't have to have everything figured out. In fact, if you do, that put too much pressure on you and the feeling just very overwhelming. So instead, build mini plans, things to do one step at a time. You don't need to know every single step to move forward. You just need to know the next one. When I was overwhelmed, I stopped trying to figure out what's my 5-year plan or what's my 10-year plan. So what am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do next week? What does my week look like after that? So by me thinking that way, I began to rework on my resume. I began to work on my portfolio. I started to look up the best websites for UX designers. So you can begin making your mini plan. What is it that you want to do for the rest of the week? Do you want to work on a resume? Do you want to begin researching different types of jobs and their credibility? Do you want to begin figuring out what is it that you want to do for a living? Just make it doable, because your brain favors small wins. This is what this is all about: creating and building momentum, but to do small, manageable tasks that will be very beneficial to you. Then you'll begin to feel that the things that you want to achieve are doable. It's not just a dream in your mind. This is something that you can achieve. So the fourth step is to surround yourself with possibility. Your environment either uplifts you or depresses you. If you are trying to grow, you need to listen to music that inspires you. Be around people who talk good about you or talk good about things in life. Consume media that is aligned with the life and the goals that you want to achieve. So essentially, you are building up your belief system, because if you surround yourself with people who judge you for the things that you want to do, for who you are, then eventually you begin to doubt yourself and judge yourself too. When I started over, I stopped being around people who made me feel less than, or made me feel insecure about myself, or made me feel like I was a failure. What I did was I put myself around individuals who uplifted me, who held me accountable. I consumed podcasts that reflected the life that I wanted to live, watched YouTube videos about people that were freelancers and how they built success in that. I stopped listening to negative music that was depressing me, that was making me feel bad about myself or making me feel like less vibrational. And I began to listen to music that increased my soul, that increased my spirit. I began to work out, go to Pilates classes, go to yoga classes. I put myself in environments that healed my nervous system instead of environments that made me feel chaotic and made me feel spiraled and overthink things. I began getting closer with a friend that we began having weekly meetings on about manifesting our goals, visually manifesting them. This is very important because right now you are in a vulnerable state. This can have a lot of effects on you. So it's very important who you allow when you are in a sensitive time in your life, because it can make your belief system or it can break your belief system. So look around and ask and make a list of 5 things that either drain you and 5 things that uplift and inspire you. And this could be a mix of people. This could be media outlets. This could be music. This could be whatever. A pet, a dog, a cat, a plant. Then make a conscious choice to lean into what best serves you for yourself and your future. So the last tip is to take imperfect actions every day. The biggest reason people feel stuck is that they or waiting to feel ready. The truth is that clarity and confidence comes from doing. And not let this get this confused with just taking any type of action. This is the action after you've gained an ideal and you had your plan and you began to sit with yourself and you began to figure out, this is what I want in my life. This is what I want to do. And so instead of just like dreaming in your head, you go out and you take those small steps. Starting over in your 30s, it's not about fear. It's about taking small leap of bravery, step by step, day after day after day, because the life that you want to have is on the opposite side of fear. This is all a part of life. Just like when a baby began its first steps, it had to stumble and fall, and then the baby began to walk, which was something that you did. One thing I could say is that when it comes to fear or something that you just don't envision yourself doing or you can see for yourself, an example I can give is that when I graduated high school, and before I did, I just didn't see myself going to college. I had a totally different vision of myself. And also, I didn't hear anybody talking about college. On my mom's side of the family, they live close proximity to us. No one was college educated. None of them went to a 4-year university. But my dad went to college, and my dad's side of the family did as well. But they were so far away, and I didn't really grow up with them. It was a big of a transition, and it was a different type of life that I didn't see for myself. But then once I was in it, I eventually went through the process, one step at a time, day by day. 4 years later, there I was, a college graduate. That's what comes when it's taking imperfect actions every day, is that even if you feel like it's something that you cannot even achieve, take those small steps and those small actions, and eventually you will achieve it. Think about how many hard lessons you have gone through and you have survived and you didn't crumble. You came out stronger and better than before. So don't let fear be a habit, and don't wait for the perfect moment. Make strategy your anchor, not your fear. There are several stories of individuals reinventing their careers by taking one small step at a time. Whether it's signing up for a class, maybe you want to go back to school, whether it's posting your resume, whether it's creating a side hustle, every small action adds up. I remember I used to always have these big goals and these big dreams, but nothing really happened until I started taking those small actions. And slowly but surely, those that I wanted to achieve began to manifest in my life. So ask yourself today, what is one small step that I can do to achieve the goals that I want for myself? So just remember that starting over in your 30s does not make you a failure. I hope this video definitely resonated with you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, peace.